Guys, so today's lessons on internal factors that shape gender differences. Now we've actually already covered a couple of these in some of the previous work. So some of the tasks I'm gonna get you to do a little bit more independently, but I'm gonna run these through. And basically with this, I've kind of laid it out so you can make notes as I go through it and add evaluation points at the bottom. So couple of things to remember. Gender equality in education, basically boys used to do better than girls until the late 1970s. So the majority of the things that we're going to look at are things that started to take place in the 1970s to explain why girls started doing better in education than boys. Now the first thing I've got you is the equal opportunities policies in education. Now what this looks at is that over a period of time, policies have been brought into schools to make things more equal for girls. Now the idea of this is that because girls haven't historically always had these equal opportunities, they're more likely to take advantage of these equal opportunities and then go on to succeed in education. So we've got, what you can see is this started in there, the policy started in about in the 1980s. So we've got the national curriculum to begin with. Now, if you remember in the previous lesson, males and females before national curriculum would have been taught separately. If girls were doing science, it would be biology. So one of the things that national curriculum allowed is girls were suddenly able to study physics and chemistry that they previously very rarely would have had equal opportunity to study. Okay, and the next one is in the 1990s, the removal of sexist images from textbooks. So before then, you would have had maths tasks like, mum wants to make a cake, how many eggs does she have, dad needs to fix the car, and you work out the physics of the car, and these examples would have been very kind of played on quite sexist imagery, and these started to be removed in the 1990s to give girls a kind of more academic role model. In the 1990s, late 1990s, there was the development of Just and Wise. So you remember those two organisations, Girls in Science and Technology and Women in Science and Engineering, to encourage girls into traditionally male jobs. Finally, this one might not seem to be relevant to gender, but education became compulsory until the age of 18. This prevented, it was more likely that girls would drop out and not carry on with sixth form than males in certain cultures. So this ensured that all girls had the opportunity to carry on studying education until they're 18. So for each one, if I could just get you around the timeline to write a couple of ways that each thing has had a positive impact on helping women succeed in education. Okay, our next thing is predominantly primary school teachers are female. So 84% of primary school teachers are females. This means that girls have an access point to a role model that boys don't. This is a role model that values education, that has gone through university and has been successful. So what it does is it creates a picture that being successful in academics is a female area, it's a female way to succeed. Behaviour management styles tend to suit, female teachers tend to use techniques that suit girls better, like talking things out, conflict resolution, where male teachers tend to use more kind of behaviour techniques that suit males, such as kind of more reward-based strategies, more getting active play in the classroom, so boys are like engaged the whole time. So behaviour management tends to reflect the particular gender. And finally, resource and teaching style. So if you think of a type of resources that primary school teachers have a lot of pick over, so it tends to be things like choosing what books to read in class, or choosing what activities to do, or what historic people to look at. And female teachers are going to pick things that reflect their interests that can quite often be gendered. And then they're going to use teaching styles, so actual activities in the lesson that they prefer. Like we know girls prefer things like group tasks, where boys like whole class discussions. Okay. Finally, for coursework and vocab tests were introduced as a kind of new type of assessment. Girls tend to do better on these. As you can see, I've put a few things, skills that girls have, and I'd like you to say whether that was supporting them in doing well in coursework or vocab tests, and explain why into each box. Finally, we've got two things that have supported girls that we have looked at recently in lessons. So league tables, think about cream skimming and silk shifting, apply what you know about class to girls, and teachers' interaction. We looked at how girls and boys were interacted differently within the lesson. And last slide, you've got 4 evaluation points. What I would like you to do is simply apply each evaluation point to the different paragraphs. There's no real right and wrong, as long as you're kind of demonstrating how your evaluation point can be used to criticise a point. If you have any problems with any of that, please let me know. Hope you're all right. Bye.